I've got a secret to tell you guys. Did you know I used to be a fireman? For 12 years, I risked my life for other people. I used to rush into burning fires. I used to get people that had succumbed to the smoke and pull them out. I carried them out on my back, and I'm a real hero. 12 years of my life I dedicated as a fireman, not a fire starter. Those rumours are not true. And now I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. That's what I am. And I work for one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in America, Goliath Ventures Inc. Here's what I do. They put me in charge of a department. I don't quite know the department because I didn't get trained on how to run a business, but they said I can be an entrepreneur. I don't even know if I actually have an official title. I'll have to have a look at my title, and I should have prepped this a little bit better. My title as an entrepreneur for Goliath Ventures Inc. Where am I? I'm in here somewhere. There it is. Director of Administration. So when you book those meetings that we tell you that are going to last for 45 minutes to calm the farm when $380 billion was lost in crypto, and our whole company is built on blockchain technology, liquidity pools, and Bitcoin mining, and you want a meeting to know how your investments are going, I'm the administrator. I'm the guy that handles all the correspondence in the company. And that's why I can call myself an entrepreneur. I had no money. No, I did get involved in some stuff called Alpha, which is all about men being real, true men, the brotherhood and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's the introduction that I wanted to do. But then I asked ChatGPT to write me a more accurate introduction. So today we're looking at a man who, in my opinion, should have stayed in the firehouse. Because at least there he was saving people, not confusing them with paid press releases. We've got a new article. This new article tries to paint him as some sort of hero, leader, author, coach, a mentor for your children. You name it. Honestly, if I keep reading his titles, I might need a fire extinguisher to put out the smoke that's coming out my brain. There's a smouldering in here. Today, we're going to read the sponsored masterpiece. And yes, it's sponsored. That means he's paid for it to be written. Boy, he hasn't paid for it to be written. He's written it and then put it in here as a paid article. And we're going to look at what it says, and then we're going to look at what it conveniently does not say, because the whole article shows him as a proud family man on a mission to raise alphas. A lot of people watching this already know there is a very different story behind the scenes with Goliath Ventures, and he's right in the middle of it. So let's sit back, grab a coffee, buy me a coffee if you want. Don't have to, but it would be nice. Well, at least join the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Look, I've even got a button there for you. Click this button and the thing pops up on my screen, and you click that bell. Ooh, I nearly got it right today. Click that bell and you'll be notified when I go live. Somebody just messaged me just before I went live and said, can you give me the link to your live? And I'm going, come on, guys. And I always say to people, if you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, I'll get Sadie to come and clean your window screen for you, because I like to give back to the community. So I'm going to read aloud the article, which, to be honest, I haven't really read it. I haven't really read the article, I'll be honest, but I'm going to read it together with you guys, because I know this is a load of bullshit already. And there's a couple of things I want to do first, just before we get going. Now, we are getting a bed delivered today, and I probably will get interrupted along the way and probably have to leave the live and come back, because the delivery men don't know. So I've gone to town. Hopefully, is this not going to work? my thingy's gone off. Oh no, that's going to make it really hard to do broadcasting today. So let's go to MacBook screen, share screen. Maybe that one there. Is that going to work? Ah, it's done what I didn't want it to do. Anyway, so we're going to have a bit of fun all day long today unless I get that fixed. Oh, I know what to do. I'll open up this. So as you can see, you've got Danny the Heck here and Pixel all sitting here. Oh, it's back. Thank goodness for that. All right, so I'm just going to get this resized so it fits properly. There it is. So there's my Porsche. Now, this is the amazing thing, I must say. This Porsche is not what I would consider a true flashy entrepreneur to be driving. I think you should have been in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, because we know Christopher's got a black Ferrari waiting for him in Dubai with 2 houses. We know Christopher, your boss, has bought 2 houses in Dubai for when he leaves. We know that there's been 3 people in the community hub already prepping themselves for Dubai, because that's where you're going to go when the 6 government agencies that are chasing you down catch up with you. And maybe that's why you haven't got a real flash car. I mean, I wouldn't say this was a flash car. This is a car that I possibly could own one day. That's if I get enough donations from doing my YouTube channel. Probably not going to get one of those. In fact, I have a Suzuki Swift. I'll tell you a funny story. I went to the doctor once, and it was recently after my divorce, and I was just feeling really down. I think we had a big earthquake here. Went off to the divorce, to the doctor, and I told him my story, and he said to me, "What are you driving?" And I said, a Suzuki Swift. And my doctor had a Lamborghini. I think he's got, anyway, Subarus, those real fast Subarus now. Anyway, he said to me, "Danny," he said, "you've always had nice cars. Get out of my office and go buy yourself a new car." And I went and bought myself an R8 V8 Holden, one of the very fast cars here. Couldn't afford it, but it put the swing back in my step. So this is me replacing the photo that you're going to see here. Now, I don't know about you, but this car thing, and using these car things to I don't know, what is the picture here telling us? He can afford a Porsche, an old Porsche. That's not even a flash Porsche, is it? I mean, if it was a GT3 Porsche, I'd be going, whoa. But that's just an everyday mum and dad Porsche, I believe. But that is it's not a fire truck. It's not a fire truck, ladies and gentlemen. But if you look down the bottom here, it actually tells you that that photo was actually given to the sponsored review by Steve Davis himself. So I think that's quite funny. And another side story, which is relevant, is we had a guy called Chavis, and he was trying to sue me, where he claimed he's going to sue me for $300,000 US because I was the person that caused him to have a stroke. And he actually submitted what looked like court documents written by ChatGPT to my hosting provider of my website, and actually had my website shut down. It was a friggin' hilarious. So I wrote back to them and said, these are fake documents. They still had emojis in them. Do you know any court documents that have emojis in them? No. And in square brackets, it said insert date here, and he hadn't updated it. But my hosting provider, which was WP Engine at the time, should join Looney Tunes. They decided to give me a 30-day marching order. So now I've had to move my website to Google Project Shield, who protect journalists. They have a message that needs to be told, and it helps save me from denial server attacks, which I was getting continuously for 2 months when I started reporting on Goliath Ventures. Coincidence? Could it be a coincidence? But at the moment, my website is sitting there proud as punch and delivering, the news, the truth. That's what I do. See how fast that loads? And you can come down here, and I've even put a button on my website called Goliath Ventures. And you click on Goliath Ventures, and you can see that the Homeland Security is asking people to come forward. There's a message that we intercepted from Homeland Security. We blocked out their phone number. We've got photos here of Christopher shaking hands with Kash Patel. That's the head of the FBI. And also we've got other photos of rappers and Christopher spending, it's been reported that Christopher spent over 6 figures one night in a bar. Now, where does that money come from? Well, Christopher the other day claimed that he had 2 companies publicly listed. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm dyslexic. Now, the word public means that everybody should be able to see what these companies are. I didn't know Christopher actually had any companies to publicly But that's what he said in one of his own videos. Might want to scrub that one from the internet. But these are the sort of cars that I'd expect Stephen to be driving, not an old cruddy Porsche. Here's a lovely photo from my liquidity partners, and the guy next to Christopher here, well, he got 2 years in prison, but for some reason, some Nancy gave him his passport back 2 days before he got charged. Well, I think it was 2 days, but he asked if he could go to Dubai to tie up some business, and he's never come back. But he's got 2 years, and that was from my liquidity partners, and that's Nick. I always get his last name screwed up. I get everyone's last name screwed up. Nick Bachiro. Well, he was in it from the start. And if you don't know anything about my liquidity partners, you really want to find out, because that has been labelled as a scam, and also SEC's got involved, and that's why that guy got 2 years in prison. Nick has also been featured in court documents. A company that he was the sales manager of got done for doing misleading claims, and something about $2 million. You'll have to look it up yourself and do your own research. I've just on the top of my head, and I can't be accurate, so don't hold me accountable on that one. But basically, everyone in here has got a cricket pass. So Christopher even got fired from his job at In-N-Out Burger. He got fired on a video. He told everyone that he got fired because he took some Adele tickets that he was gifted by another person he was doing business with, and thought he'd take them home to his wife at the time. And if you're not keeping up with current events, pals, cows, he's still going through divorce proceedings, has bought a lovely house for the wife. I think he's bought 5 houses with your money over the last few months. So if you want to find out more about here, especially Stephen Davis, you want to read here. You want to read these this article here. Now, this is not going to be a Ponzi, a podcast. This is just one of 17. This is 17 blogs where we talk about Christopher and all the things he's done, how he's changed banks recently because the second biggest bank in America didn't want him anymore. You might have missed that one. We help whistleblowers so they know what a whistleblower really is. We received a bribe. They've offered me $150,000 to shut up. We talk about the biggest crash in crypto and how Chris is now stashing his $2,000 bottles of wine. We talk about the dirty tactics that they're using. We've been receiving copyright strikes on a video like this where I just talk. They have 2 of my videos have received copyright strikes from Goliath Ventures, claiming that this video is their video. Now that's dirty. So that's how you play. You want to do that. We talk about New Zealand. Oh yes, we talk about how he's trying to sue me, which is friggin' hilarious. Tyler Peters decided he was an investor. He took his money out and left his winnings on the table, but then he decided it'd be a good idea to go over and meet Chris at the German Beer Fest. That was quite funny. And here we talk about the lawsuit that they've had previously with my liquidity partners, who is profiting from the money that Christopher's spending like it's water. In here, we talk about the In-N-Out Burger sagas. And we talk about people who believe that their contract that they've got with Goliath Ventures Inc. isn't worth the paper it's printed on. I don't know if you know, but on the 3rd of September, they closed down the company in Florida. And then we've got what happens with clawbacks. That means if you have made money, we had one lovely fella who's put $15 million in it and made $2.8 million back. And he's now taken out his $17.8 million. And he realizes that he'll have to give that money back because it's clawbacks. That money wasn't done by what they claim they were doing. What else? They haven't got any registrations. They haven't got any FinSense registrations. It means they don't have any licenses that we can find. And if we do, we've asked them for all this information, but they failed to give it to us. The only thing they have given us is a fakey, unusual lawsuit, which is really, really funny. So we've asked them for all their licenses for all the things that they claim they're doing, and we've just got crickets. So now we got legal documents instead from the courts in Orange County. So you can go to Orange County and clerk, and you can search for Danny DeHeck, and you can see all the proceedings there. We currently do have a motion to dismiss in there because we had nothing else to do with our time. Also, we talk about the fake audits that we had from Matt Burke. Matt Burke was actually a parish, and he's been scrubbed from the website of his church because he's no longer a parish, so to speak. I am listening to the comments that we've got in the chat room, which is great, but I'm just on a high horse at the moment. And then we wrote a response to their cease and desist letter. That was friggin' hilarious as well. We've had a lot of fun doing this one. We find out they're bookkeeper who can handle a company that allegedly does $500 million worth of investments so far to date is it's just a little wee bookkeeper who works for a guy called Samuels. I've forgotten his last name. However, she closed her company down on the 2nd of September and reopened it up in Florida a few days later, which is quite strange, really. So we talk about her and how a bookkeeper can manage a big company. We talk about how they did actually write out to their investors telling everyone that we were just doing a smear campaign. And then we talk about Black Block, Matt Burke, my wealth management, and how they're all linked together. Now, ironically, wealth management was going after the retirement money of people, and also the is it 401k, you know, the money that they do, because I know that if you move your retirement money from one investment to another investment, it actually it can cost you 30% to move. So, but the good thing about once you manage to fool people into letting you look after your investment fund, that money won't come out very easily. So theoretically, it's a perfect breeding ground for a Ponzi scheme. And that's why Black Block, not Black Lock, whatever. Anyway, Black Block and My Wealth Management, My Wealth Doctors were two companies that were set up to do that. Except, again, I can't go into it because we'll be here all day, but basically they white labeled what Christopher was offering, and they decided that make the minimum investment was $250,000 instead of $100,000. Instead of paying 3 or 4% interest per month, yeah, that's the funny part, they were offering 2% per month, and it seems like they were skimming some off the top. It was friggin' hilarious. But anyway, it's all merged into one company here. And then what else did we do? Fake audits. That was Matt Burke, wasn't an auditor. He was working for the company, which was really weird. And the first one we did, we just had a look at their contracts, and that's where we opened the can of worms. Now, so why am I going after a hero, a firefighter, a firefighter who is going to, what have we got here? I thought Vernon was still in jail. I don't think he got to jail. I think he's living in Dubai. I could be wrong. Other people might know that. Let's have a listen.
I thought Verlin was still in jail. How'd you find out he is out and free, if I may ask?
I don't actually know, to be entirely honest. I'd like to be transparent on that one. Why are you so big at the top there? I'll just fix that up. Yeah, so I don't actually know if that, what his state is, but I wouldn't mind knowing as well. I'll just fix that up so it's nice and top along the top. But thank you for bringing that up. Now, I could be wrong, and also everything I say is just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. They've been told to say that by lawyers lately. Not that I've got a lawyer, not that I need one. Anyway, so let's read the article, because we're just going to scoot right to the bottom. Before you get excited, we're going to have listen to this paragraph here. Now, just remember this.
Markets Insider and Business Insider editorial teams were not involved in the creation of this post.
So why is it on their website? I hate this. Now, there's a guy called Shavis Anwar, and he was claiming that he was in Forbes magazine India. And if you don't know how that works, he's done the same. He's put a sponsored post in Forbes magazine. Now, if you do that, do you realize it doesn't actually go in the printed edition? It only goes in the PDF that's mailed out to people on their mailing, and it's a paid advert, and there's proof of that. So when these entrepreneurs like our what's his name, Stephen, courtesy of Stephen Davis, when they put this information out there, it's been paid. So it's not, I don't believe it's really credible. And we'll listen to how good this article paints them in the picture. And then I'm going to read the responses. I've even given Steve Davis a right reply. And I've also written a smashing summary of this article in the YouTube description that you're watching right now. But let's get into what we've got. Let's listen to this article and let you decide for yourself. Don't you let me persuade anything.
From firefighter chief to entrepreneur, Stephen Davis announces growth of Raising Alphas and new publishing house Choice Press.
Now, I thought he was actually shutting down his YouTube channel, Raising Alphas. He must be too busy. But he's got this, Raising Alphas is basically telling all the ladies that they're not strong enough. It's if you read this alpha thing, it's absolutely quite a very male-dominated point of view. And I'm going to give you another example because I can't help myself. Now, hopefully my phone doesn't ring, but let's go to YouTube. Let's go to here. Now, Christopher and Tomo were on these cruise trips a wee while ago, and this is all about what they call the war room. And the war room is about a secret society of men that you have to pay a membership. And Christopher was in here. If you cruise along to, I think it's 118, you can see that Christopher. Now, this is only a couple of weeks ago. Whoop, there he is. Hold up, we have to go back. Oh, men doing exercising. And the next, there he is there. So there's Tomo and Christopher in the photo. So if you don't know which one, Tomo's that one there, the mouse is going around, and that's Christopher. Now, they didn't really put him in any of the video, which is quite funny. But this is to promote, you may have heard of a guy called Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers. Well, they're all over the internet if you haven't. And it's kind of like when you get down to here, I think there's, there's got all these men that have joined it, like a secret club of men, where I think they think they're above the law. So this alpha thing that they talk about is, in my opinion, all about male dominance and all this sort of carry on. Yeah, so there you go. All the ladies, you're going to miss out. But you should apply and see whether Mr. Davis here, Stephen Davis, you should apply and see whether you can join his alpha club and see how you get on. That's what I'm really sort of trying to say here.
Orlando, Florida, United States, November 14th, 2025. Stephen Davis spent more than 2 decades in fire and emergency services, rising through the ranks to become division chief.
So is it 2 days? Now, also, sorry to rain on your parade, but you know why they've gone after you, Stephen? You might think you're in the Brotherhood and Christopher's your best mate and all that sort of stuff. They've gone after you because they're after your pension funds, because that's where they get the money from. So this is why you see all the photos of all these boys shaking hands with Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Kash Patel, Michael Johnson, the Speaker of the House. What else? We've got Andrew Tate, if you want to chuck him in there. And they're all, I don't know if they're trying to buy pardons or what you're trying to do. But all these guys are out there trying to schmooze with people so they can get into communities. That's why he's given to all these charities. Remember, on the homepage of Goliath Ventures website, if you go here, you scroll down and it tells you that they've given, since they've been going, I think, $4 million in. And also notice that they've taken some photos out of here because there's some people in here don't want to be associated with the company anymore. So if you go through here, you'll find that a lot of the photos with people that were in here have been removed because they've done a cleanup. And there's a few other organisations, like that photo there is actually on a golf course that said they will never give Christopher a membership on his golf course. Islington, is it? Islington? I've got that right? Because they shouldn't have been there. The way they managed to schmooze into there is because they were there for a charity event. And the charity events that this company, they believe, so Goliath Ventures Inc. is proud to support both local and international charity communities and schools. And then Goliath Ventures has donated over $1 million last year. You need to update it because this year's nearly over. And more than $4 million to charitable and community efforts since 2019. So I went through and we emailed every single one of these charities. And to 2 of them's credit, they replied. Others have actually scrubbed Goliath Ventures from their websites. Let's give you an example of that. The Chamber of Commerce, the Indian Chamber of Commerce, still have Goliath Ventures logo on their homepage last time I looked, but they made the link remove. And all the events where Goliath Ventures were in, they have removed them from their website. Why would that be the case? I want to know. Anyway, so we went through here and we contacted one of these charities, and they initially wrote back to us and said that we've never received a donation from Goliath Ventures Inc. And we thought, oh, that's interesting. That's good stuff, we thought. Then they come back a few minutes later and they said, oh, we did do a bit of a search and we did find that in 2002 or maybe 2003, they donated $300. So here's a company claiming to have given away $4 million worth of charity money. However, the charities don't want to talk about it or engage with us or anything except 2 of them. And the ones that did claim that they found one donation of $300. Now, we know that he's been donating to the political structure of America because we've tracked $39,000 worth of donations. We've also know that he was in the White House on Fentanyl Day And he made an ass of himself and stood up and pledged to give $2 million to Fentanyl Day. I think it was for Jackie Segal and her charity. Now, a week later, we had photos being released when it was Crypto Day in the White House, and Christopher was sending out images on LinkedIn and alleging, if you didn't know, that he was there for Crypto Day. We heard rumors that he had paid up to $250,000 to actually get to be at the event so he could be in the White House. So these are the tactics that's going on. And also the other one we'll chuck in there, you might have seen him. He was in Vault 2025, which was Patrick Ben-David's gig, and he paid $1 million to have naming rights. And he stood up on the stage and gave an announcement about what their company does. Now, anyone in your right mind would know that somebody who used to work at In-N-Out Burger and got fired, standing on the stage telling everyone that he has always loved crypto, when 5 years ago, this guy didn't have anything to his name. In fact, if you read his story, which I did in one of my shorts, he tells the story about how he was brought up in a trailer park. Now, I'm not knocking anyone who wants to be entrepreneurial. Let's get back to the firefighter. But what I am saying is this company is a fraud. They are not doing anything they claim that they're doing. The charity stuff could be sneezed at. But if you come down to on their homepage of their website, they claim that they are making money, what we do, from blockchain technologies, liquidity pools, and Bitcoin mining. So there's never, ever been any photos, any images, or any proof that this company is doing Bitcoin mining. Liquidity pools, mathematically impossible to return 60% return on people's investments per year. They are claiming that people are going to get 3% return on their investment, or 4% return on their investment if they give them $500,000. We've literally had people who have rung up and said they've pulled their $500,000 out and got their money back and taken their dividends, or too scared to take the profits. And we've had other people tell us that their funds are frozen, they are pending, whatever pending means. Normally it doesn't mean too good stuff in a Ponzi scheme. Or what was the other thing that we've had, that they're now charging fees for people to keep their accounts open. So if you want to inform us on what you've done, we got somebody the other day that told us they took out $100,000. They rang us up. They even booked some time with me. And then they tell me they took their $15,000 out, or roundabout whatever it was as well. And I said, what are you doing that for? And they said, oh, we'll keep the money. We'll wait for the FBI or whoever to knock on our door and tell us. So it's all going on. And blockchain technology, if you come down here, they talk about their accomplishments, ventures, acquisitions, active projects. Well, is there any proof of this? If you have got proof and you're an investor, now we've heard that the shit's hitting the fan in Philando. We've heard that the investors are in uproar. They put out a newsletter saying they were going to have a 45-minute meeting with investors. That meeting was a webinar, gaslighting webinar that lasted 12 minutes. So the investors should be very concerned about what's going on. So when I wake up in the morning and I read an article that is trying to portray that this Steve Davis guy is some sort of hero standing in front of his cruddy Porsche, no offense to any Porsche owners, it makes my blood boil. And if this guy was a hero at one point, he certainly is not a hero now. And if he's working for someone who's actually going after the retirement money that firemen get when they leave the fire force or any other community, then he's a disgusting bottom feeder. And the guy has really got a low IQ, because if he thinks that Christopher's his friend, he's just been used by Christopher. And to even publish this crap in the newspaper right now is just absolutely disgusting. I mean, this is bullshit propaganda. This is the stuff that you would get when you're in the trenches fighting in the wartime and the planes fly over and drop all those wee pamphlets. This is a pamphlet drop here to mislead people and claim that nothing's going on when everything's going on. I know that I'm probably the number one talked about person in Florida at the moment, because I'm exposing one of the biggest Ponzi schemes known to man. And I have the receipts. I have 6 different government agencies that I've been providing information to, and I get intel on a daily basis about what's going on with this scam. So don't sit there with your hands. On my website, you can post anonymous information. Give us whatever you got. We've got contracts. We don't even need any additional information as per se, because we've got all their contracts. Their contracts are a fraud. The company, GOLIATH Ventures Inc., on the 3rd of September has closed down in Florida. Do your own research and see what that means. Go to ChatGPT and say, if I have a company and it's based in Florida, America, and I close that company down, am I still able to trade? Game over. How many game overs do you need before you realize the game is over? No proof of anything they're claiming they're doing. It's just ridiculous.
His career ended abruptly when he declined an order to issue citations to firefighters under his command who refused vaccination during the height of pandemic protocols. I couldn't, in good conscience, discipline people for making a personal medical decision, Davis said. That decision cost him his post but opened an unexpected path toward new ventures that merge his sense of duty with a broader conversation about family and leadership.
Oh my God. So he's trying to claim that he is a hero. And because people wouldn't take the vaccine, he had to tell them they were naughty people. And he decided that wasn't ethical. So this guy is a man of ethics. And just remember this sponsored article. Now, I've been in the New York Times, all right? So if you come here and you search for the crypto, what do I call the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger? There I am there. So my partner is a photographer. That photo that you see with my glasses on, they flew a photographer in to take it for me. And that's what real journalism is all about. Shame you can't get that right. But that's it there. Oh, quick there, do it again. So what I'm getting at, guys, is if this was a real article or published by anyone credible, you wouldn't be providing your own photos. I did provide my own photos, but they still flew in a photographer to take my photo. And they took quite a few of you privy to that article. Okay, so let's just get into a paragraph after paragraph. Let's do it.
Before his exit from the Firehouse, Davis had also served in the U.S. Army, as a mechanized infantry medic and flight medic, those years, stationed in Germany, and at the National Training Center in Fort Irwin, reinforced habits of preparation, and the ability to make quick, consequential decisions.
Well, quick, consequential decisions. How's that going for you, Steve?
His subsequent firefighting career brought similar demands, managing teams in crisis and navigating the politics of public service. The vaccine mandate dispute brought those experiences into sharp focus, prompting him to rethink how he could influence public life outside government employment.
I mean, this is, this is just propaganda 101. This guy's trying to paint himself as a hero when he is actually now a bottom feeder of the planet. This guy should be questioned by the authorities for him promoting, which is everything a Ponzi scheme or a scam. No proof of anything. I mean, look, I've written him an email and I've asked him for a right of reply. He wouldn't have had time to respond yet, admittedly, because I did it a couple of hours ago, and I'm not saying he should have. But I am saying that he should prove to me that Christopher is generating money legally, because there is no crypto mining. There's no pancake swaps, as Chris said on the stage of Patrick Ben-Davis' 2025 Vault conference. And there's definitely nothing to do with blockchain technology here. This guy is used to working at flipping In-N-Out burgers. And also, if you do a bit more research, even 18 months ago, Christopher was advertising teeth whitening. And that's what he was trying to do to get himself, and also his associations is with people that, so this was interesting. So Verlin is still in jail. So one of Chris's associates is in jail, apparently. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what one of our messages that have come in. So if that's the case, if he's not in jail, it's only because he's evaded it, but he's been sentenced 2 years in jail. And that was somebody who Christopher, and if you look at my liquidity partners, one of my Avengers was going on and on about my liquidity partners and how we had to look at it when we started investigating this. And he was right, because my liquidity partners Ponzi scheme scam that's been exposed is basically a mirror image of GOLIATH Ventures Inc. It's exactly the same, which is just breathtaking. So now we've fully exposed both. We're just waiting for the government agencies to catch up with Chris. So it's a race. It's a race whether they get me in the courtroom, and I'm well ahead, and Christopher's after me, offering me $150,000 to shut up, for God's sake. I don't shut up for money, Chris, and I wouldn't take your scammer money. And now you've got the government agencies making sure they cross every T and tick every I before they handcuff him, which is weeks away. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Any day now, Christopher's going to be in handcuffs. He's going to be charged for fraud, and all his associates, Tomo, Stephen here, are going to be locked up as well and brought in for questioning. And, we've got people, this is the biggest investigation. I wouldn't have done 17 blogs and 17 videos exposing every angle of this company if I didn't. I put my whole life into this.
Building the Raising Alphas project. Soon after leaving the fire service, Davis co-founded the Raising Alphas project, a parenting and leadership initiative that began as a podcast and grew into a digital platform. The project encourages parents to cultivate independence and critical thinking in their children. Trace Davis believes will help the next generation meet complex social challenges. We can't delegate character building to schools or peer groups, he said. Parents have to be the primary teachers of integrity.
So there you go, Raising Alphas. And it's, and there he is, the man of the moment. Don't know who the lady is with the backpack. Alpha raised. So it's like, and there's and I'm pretty sure this was their last episode. Well, not that one, but they've got them all. And there he is. Look at that. My mission. Meet the Alphas. And there's Christopher, a young version. I haven't even seen that photo before. Actually, I don't think I've actually been to his website. Our mission, the Raising Alphas projects, focus on developing future leaders with strong sense of purpose and determination. They learn the importance of hard work, risk-taking, and sacrifice to achieve success. Meet the Alphas. So these are the Alphas. I mean, what a load of bullshit, really. You've got a guy here that's been fired for stealing, now running a corporation that's ran by a bookkeeper that shuts down his company in Florida on the 3rd of September. And now people believe that he has come up with the enigma on how to make money with crypto. And we have got their crypto wallet addresses. The money that they are transitioning isn't anything to do with pancake swaps or liquidity trading. There's not enough activity to merit the amount of money. They claimed, get this, that in 2024, $100 million was given back to their dividends were given back to their investors. So they're growing at great knots, well, they were until I come along. And now they are crashing and burning. They will need a fireman. Maybe that's why he's there. So have a look through that sort of stuff. And you can go listen to their propaganda information, if you like, on Raising Alphas. And I'm not against raising, like this guy, for God's sake. This is a slime bucket of, this guy's interviewed Chris. He's given us more ammo than a bull can shit. And he, that makes me crack up that he's on there. But anyway, if it's so damn good, then why are you stopping the podcast? Anyway, that's what Raising Alphas is all about. Can anyone find Verlin in the Bureau of Prison list? Oh, so we've got a list. I don't know. Let's have a look. Thanks, Susie. So, Vera, can we just search for his name? Was that Verlin? Would he have a secret name? We're going to go look to see if he's in the prison list. I don't know. Find by name. Oh, first, what's his last name? Verlin. Last name required. Let me see if I can find it in my. I think I'll have him mentioned here somewhere. Verlin. Oh, there it is. My liquidity partner's rebranded. Imagine that. We're going to find somebody whether they're in prison or not. Oh, that's a great name. Let's go back here. Last name. Race. He's racing to the finish line. I don't know. Sex. Search. 0 results. So we did try and find him. Was he out now? Because it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? It was quite recent, wasn't it? So if you do want to back up anything that we've got, if you come through here, you can actually read the articles and you can actually see the court filings. So in here, this is the complaint. And this was actually Verlin's. There he is there. So we're not just, we've got the receipts for everything we say. We can back this up. You can actually hear, there's the whole case and everything. So it's quite cool. But unfortunately, we could not find him in here. Unless we just try V. Wonder if you can do that. No. Can you just do last name? No. Should we put Christopher's name in there and see if he comes up? Shia Santo. Have we got that name spelled right? I have him, no. Yeah, so no, we can't find him there. So that would be quite good. Find number. registration number? FBI number? No. Do you have a number? I don't think we do. Oh, look, there's that nice guy again. So anyway, so let's carry on. The website boasts, so let's have a listen about the website.
The website hosts podcast episodes, features written content, and sells merchandise ranging from apparel to accessories. It attracts a national audience that engages with the content across major streaming services and social media platforms. While its social following remains modest, around a few thousand on Instagram, the project reflects a larger trend in US entrepreneurship, values-driven businesses that blend media and community building. According to US Census Bureau data, new business applications have averaged roughly 430,000 per month in 2024, a level about 50% higher than in 2019. Many of these enterprises, like Raising Alphas, use digital channels to serve niche audiences rather than chasing mass markets.
Right. Now, I might have to duck off because I have a feeling that whoever's going to be dropping off this thing that we've bought might just turn up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare a video. I'll just get this right, which I get, and I'm just going to have this ready to go. So what I'm doing over here, just in case somebody knocks at the door and I have to go, I've got this announcement where they've set up a government department for me in my Avengers, and it's called the Scam Center Strike Force. So if I have to duck away, I'm going to play that video. I'm just warning you guys now, but let's carry on reading. So this Alpha website is just an amazing website. And this is what happens. I mean, I think I need to write myself an article in here. You know, Danny DeHeck and the Avengers take down a multi-million-dollar company who claims lots of things they're not doing. Is that what we want to do? So launches the press. Let's listen to this.
Launching Choice Press. This year, Davis expanded his entrepreneurial footprint with the launch of Choice Press, a publishing house designed to give authors an outlet for works on parenting, leadership, and civic responsibility. His own memoir, Alone in the Fire, The First Alarm, is the company's inaugural title. The book recounts the decision that ended his firefighting career and how it spurred his commitment to encouraging families to raise confident, principled children.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. So let's have a look at that. Oh, it's a book. And look, he's all dressed up in his gears. I thought he left the fire force. Oh, but he still wants to be a fireman. I get it. All right, that's cool. When do they have you back now, mate? There might be a chance that you could actually get back. So, Alone in the Fire, The First Alarm. Whoa. A dedicated firefighter and mentor.
A decorated firefighter's memoir about his defiance of a controversial order that ignited a worldwide parenting and leadership movement, the Raising Alphas Project.
Wow, that's it. So you can talk about past successes and over again, regurgitate your same shit, I reckon. That's what they're doing here.
For my decision to defend my firefighters, I was thrown into a fiery furnace. I survived because the fire inside me burned brighter than the fires around me. In 2021, Chief Officer Stephen Davis of Orange County Fire Rescue of Central Florida refused to reprimand his personnel over a COVID-19 vaccine mandate. The men and women he was responsible for had religious and medical exemptions. Stephen was told to write them up. He didn't. For his courageous defense of our civil liberties, Stephen, a dedicated husband and father of two, was promptly terminated just before Christmas. This is a powerful memoir of courage in the face of scandal and leadership through the fire. From his early days serving in the United States Army as a medic, to battling raging house fires, to a sudden entrance into fame, meeting such influential public figures as Senator Ted Cruz, Governor Ron DeSantis, and former NRA spokesperson Dana Loesch, joined Stephen on his remarkable journey from fire chief officer to CEO.
God.
Choice Publications is proud to present this book for anyone who wants to become a greater leader, anyone who wants to raise their children to be strong and courageous, prepared to fight the fires of life. If you care about speaking up for what's right, then you need to read this book today.
Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know. We just had 100 people fired from a book publishing house in Pakistan that we've been reporting. And the fact that he's mentioned Ron DeSantis, I heard a rumor that he was trying to contact me. He wanted to talk to me about some stuff. So that would be quite cool if you do, Ron. That is so funny that he's name dropped. And this is what we're going on about, ladies and gentlemen. We've got these photos of Christopher shaking hands with Kash Patel, Donald Trump, Eric Trump, the Speaker of the House. We've got the whole 9 yards. They are schmoozing with everybody they can. I'm sure that they are trying to use it. If you really want the full story, obviously go to my website, deheck.com, click on Goliath Ventures. You can see If these guys are so schmoozed, then why is Homeland Security wanting meetings with people that have done business dealings with them? But as you can see, that we've got rappers. We've got the $2,000 bottle of champagne on his head. This guy's meant to be a paid influencer. He's not worth anything. We've got flash cars. We've got 5 properties. We've got Christopher's got a car collection of $4 million. What's going on? We've got parties with people. We've got Lear jets. We've got flight logs. We've got all these meetings. Where's the money coming from, ladies and gentlemen? Why isn't Chris working like a beaver in the office, keeping the company that's maybe worth $500 million going, rather than being a pisshead, traveling around to Munich, drinking up and doing all sorts of things? So there's Jason Newton, Jay Newton, $120 million we believe he's brought in, now living in Canada, trying to hide everything. He was used to be in here in the chat room abusing the shit out of us, and then we found out who it was, and then we've got crickets now. We've found out so much about him. Jay Newton, second from the right. So second from the right. So we update this quite a lot. As I've already pointed out, there's 17 blogs, but there's a summary, and we give this to journalists. We've actually currently contacted about 70 major newspapers. We've done a bloody good job just saying, and they won't publish anything if you know anything about journalism until they're expedited or there's some sort of court hearing or some legal Ponzi work out there. We've also got other things happening which we can't tell you about. So anyway, so now he's published a book. So this is all about his book.
Choice Press enters a competitive publishing environment that continues to evolve. Industry analysts at the Association of American Publishers report that U.S. trade book sales totaled roughly $9.6 billion in 2024, with nonfiction titles accounting for a significant share of growth. Independent publishers have gained ground in recent years by focusing on targeted readerships and direct-to-consumer distribution, a model Davis hopes to replicate. We want to give writers a platform to speak to families about leadership and responsibility without being filtered by large corporate interests, he said.
Oh, I think this is quite funny though. It's sort of quite sweet because what they do, I reckon they know that the money they've been making is from illegal activities. They scramble together trying to get something real in the real world happening so that when their Ponzi scheme money all stops, they've actually got something substantial. So they take what they call high risk. They get themselves heavily involved in a Ponzi scheme, make a whole lot of money, more money than a pork and shit. It's all your money if you're an investor. And then they try and do something legitimate. Now, I'm sorry, but I have had a little bit to do with the book publishing industry. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you'll see that sometimes I get 1 million people a month looking at my content on LinkedIn. Go check out my LinkedIn profile. It's pretty impressive. But we've been going after the fake publishing, what do they call it? The book publishing houses that have been ran and pushed and driven by Pakistani scammers. And they have just recently fired 100 people in one Pakistani software producing house. And these houses have actually set themselves up in America, Australia, Canada, all over the world. After they got raided back in 2021, they have now got smarter, as criminals do. And they've gone to Pakistani people that have got full they're immigrants of America, for example, and they'll say, hey, it's your cousin here. Can we set up another company, probably in Wyoming? And they set up these companies, and then they use the call centers in Pakistan to promote them and encourage people to get their book ghostwritten or promoted. And it's just rampant at the moment. It's $1 billion industry. So you heard of the human trafficking compounds? Well, it's very similar with what's going on in Pakistan at the moment, and it's disgusting. But it's just, so I reckon this is his ditched effort. You watch, the next announcement we get, this will be a #1 top seller in Amazon. Now, don't get me started on that, but last time I heard a scammer tell me that he had a top seller in Amazon, how it works is the online edition has a deep category structure, and you can put your book in 3 different categories. For one day, you'll have when it's launched, if they launch it correctly, that book will be at the top of the list. And because it's at the top of the list, they'll get a little wee stamp on that book for a day or two, telling us that it's a #1 seller. And then they have all these media interviews and they tell you that he's got a #1 selling book, but in a dumb category that's on Amazon that no one was looking at. So he's probably got like 5 books, and each of those books have been top sellers, and it's just a mathematical stupid thing that they do. So everyone feels special. So he's already got 4 stars. See customer reviews. So let's have a look. Let's see who these people are who want to put their name behind this person. Let's read these reviews for his book.
This book is eye-opening and motivational, personally and professionally. One can appreciate the truths, courage and vulnerability in this book. Looking forward to his future books.
Right, looking forward to his future books. And look, here's the 1-star review, the one that they all dread. The problem with this book is that the target audience is very low.
Literacy.
Oh my God, that's quite funny, isn't it? Let's read that one out. See, I can't read it, so that's perfectly.
The problem with this book is that the target audience has a very low literacy rate.
So firemen can't read. Maybe they're all dyslexic. Okay, so who's this?
Courageous man to stand up for his crew. It took a lot to put his career on the line.
Oh, how noble. And this one here, great read. 2 people found this helpful.
It's good to get the perspective of what happened behind the scenes from the man that was involved.
Let's log in. I mean, these are great reviews, mate. Real heartfelt, a lot of thought that went into these reviews. Oh my God, listen to this.
My eyes will not stop bleeding. I can't tell if it's from my COVID booster or how badly this book is written.
Oh my goodness. So honestly, I have nothing to do with these reviews. It's just awesome. I've got to keep reading them now. You have to log in. I wonder if I can log in easy. I'll just put a special number on the screen. Don't look at that number, guys. It's not my password. Don't worry. Let's see if we can get in here. I'll be interested to know if we can. Danny, Amazon. There we go. See if I've got an Amazon account. Password. Oh, fingerprint. See if it works. Probably won't. Sometimes it's not so easy to get in here. Oh, we're in. Oh, good. Oh, excellent. Change address. No, thanks. Not the same one. That's not my address, by the way, just in case you're wondering. So what have we got? We've got, what have we got? Helpful. See, how do we read more reviews? Oops. How do we read more reviews? Got excited now. See the details on this book firsthand. I thought there was a right reviews. Helpful. See, I'll just see if we've got right reviews. Oh, let's have a look. There's 7 reviews. I just want to make sure we got them all. I mean, it'd be unfair for me to give you a, so that's you see more reviews. Okay, see more reviews. 1-star review, 1-star review. There's no more. Oh, there is no more reviews. That was it. All that effort for that. Anyway, so there's your book. 7 reviews. It's going off. It's on fire. It's on fire. Let's carry on.
By pairing his own book with a publishing platform, Davis seeks to extend the conversation sparked by raising alphas while supporting authors who share similar themes. The move reflects an ongoing shift in publishing toward niche markets and direct audience engagement.
By pairing the book. So he's pairing with an author. So out of 7 reviews, he's got 2 5-star reviews, 1-star reviews. Isn't that crap? That means that, is it 15% of people that have reviewed have given 1-star reviews? Is it something like that? No, it's less than that, isn't it? 5, I don't know. Anyway, it's not good.
Continuing his mission beyond the Firehouse, Davis now balances multiple roles, leading the Raising Alphas project, managing Choice Press, serving as Director of Administration for Goliath Ventures, and serving as coach with Central United Soccer Club while overseeing a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio. He is also active with several philanthropies, including Kai Jeremiah Foundation, Live for Bree Foundation, Mark Nedjames Runway to Hope, and Books and Blankets Charity. These commitments show the continuity between his life in public service and his work in entrepreneurship.
We say it all the time.
All right, so I didn't realize he has something to do with Runway to Hope. I didn't think they had anything to do with Runway of Hope. That's something I got out of there. That's quite interesting. I'll actually clarify that later on. His goal is to remain, was it a biblious? I can't read it.
His goals remain ambitious but grounded.
Ambitious.
I'm focused on helping families instill courage and moral clarity in their children, Davis said. That starts with parents setting the example every day by turning a moment of professional conflict into an opportunity to influence families nationwide. Stephen Davis has shifted from a career defined by emergency response to one centered on long-term civic engagement and family leadership.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I saw a video where they were stating that it was goodbye and they weren't doing these farewell David, or so maybe David's leaving. Here we go here. So
It's our farewell.
Here we go. So listen to it go. So David's involved in it as well.
With David. This is a really important show for me today, and I think for David. This is our farewell. Welcome back, my friend.
Welcome back to you as well.
So,
work on that intro though.
Well, here's the thing: is like
polish it a little bit.
You're the guy that was doing the intros, so now I'm doing the intros.
You were caught. It seemed like you were caught off guard. Like, oh shit!
Oh, I'm here with David. He's supposed to like. I sit here, you do the intro, I do the outro. Like the whole thing is messed up now. You're really screwing it up.
Threw a wrench in it.
You're really throwing a wrench in it. Yeah. For everybody that's watching right now, today David Panzik, he's here on my right as always. It's his last show. It's our farewell show with David. We'll do some reflection on what happened with us and where we are with raising alphas. He's the OG alpha. That's right. So, anyways, if you haven't already, like, share.
Don't bother, guys. But my point is that
we say it all the time. You know what's great about
David actually is leaving, not him. So let's see what happened 8 days ago.
So if you're in sales, you have to get better prospecting, but get better prospects, which is better pre-qualifying. I value my time. I don't waste it. Now, in the beginning, I did. I would talk to anybody and everybody, and I learned who to prospect, who not to prospect. They said, just talk to everybody. Eventually you learn, eventually you learn. And then you eventually learn leverage. When I can say, listen, if you're open, boom, call this person, connect, done. And if they are serious.
So if you watch this video, I promise you, all you'll hear is about how they talk about networking and selling things to people. So these guys are just out there selling people investment opportunities. They're not financial regulated advisors. They are people that believe that Christopher's doing the right thing and he wouldn't be lying to them. They haven't even proved. Because this guy here, I know he's involved as well. Is it Mr. Manson? John Manson? I'm pretty sure I've got him in our persons of interest list. So all these people are just out there doing sales. They're not bothering to check and verify that Christopher isn't running a scam. They have no proof of liquidity trading. They have no proof of Bitcoin technologies and no proof of any crypto mining. But they still believe that Christopher is running a real deal. He's got a bookkeeper running a company. I mean, you just can't get any stupider than this. Couldn't find him in prison there. We found Christopher on a cruise with 3 luxury yachts. Here's Christopher and Tomo with the Tate brothers. Do your research on the Tate brothers and their accusations that fly around about them. Why would these guys here be joining a club called the War Room? Why do organizations... Why does Christopher need to join an organization where all their faces are blurred out? Are these law-abiding citizens? Do your research. 99% of modern men today will never, listen to this.
99.9% of modern-day men will never experience the power of brotherhood and community. They will never experience what it's like to have other ambitious, hard-working, diligent, and dutiful men at their side.
Right. So does this sound like a cartel network to you? And is this something that you want to invest in with people that are part of this organization? That's cool. I'm live. I'm live on the internet right now. Yeah, so now it's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's what Christopher's part of. So I'm just going to get rid of that and go backwards. So there he is on a cruise ship a month ago, roughly. And I'll tell you some funny stuff. You might look at this and think, wow, 1.2 million views. And why am I saying 1 million views? This video was launched on the 27th of September. Within 1 day, it received 1.2 million views. Now, more than a month ago, nearly, it's only had another 100,000 views. Who says that these people aren't paying to get these videos out there and create a whole lot of hype? I mean, it's just unreal. So, you know, it's just, you know, what do you want to believe? Look at these here. These are photos of people who are somebody's. I don't know who they are. Uh, I don't know. I haven't even looked through here, but there's Nazis on there. That's no good, is it? Let's get rid of that. Okay, so there's the court documents if you want to check them out. Remember, all our blogs, if we've got the documents that we talk about, they will be embedded in the blog. There's my photo sitting in front of a cruddy Porsche. I would not have this photo, but I think that was a brilliant representation. And notice Pixel, it just about looks like Pixel, that one. I was really proud of that photo. I might just leave that one up. I'm just shutting these down because I want to go through what I actually wrote to them. And also, this was the description of the blog, the video that you're looking at right now.
Urgent, misleading sponsored article on Stephen Davis and Goliath Ventures Incorporated. Hi team, I'm writing to notify you of serious concerns regarding the sponsored article you have published about Stephen Davis, titled From Firefighter Chief to Entrepreneur. The article presents Davis as a harmless entrepreneur and author, but it omits key information about his current role in Goliath Ventures Incorporated, a company actively under investigation by multiple government agencies for suspected securities fraud and unlicensed investment activity.
Yeah, so we actually wrote to the the people that wrote the magazine, who let him publish that in their magazine. Surely they must be concerned that people are publishing lies. Surely they must be concerned. We wrote to them, and this is what we wrote to them.
My name is Danny D. Heck. I'm an investigative journalist who has been exposing large-scale crypto and Ponzi-style frauds for several years. My work has been featured in the New York Times, Bloomberg, and The Guardian, and I work closely with whistleblowers, financial regulators, law enforcement, and victims of international investment schemes.
And that I do. So this is what we wrote.
Because of that work, I've been tracking Goliath Ventures Incorporated for over a year. The company was formally dissolved in the state of Florida, yet continues to solicit investor funds while simultaneously paying out returns in a way that strongly mirrors other well-known high-yield Ponzi schemes. Investors have already reported being unable to withdraw their principal after recent events, and the company's leadership, including Davis in his role as Director of Administration, is now the subject of active investigations.
Yeah, so if anyone's listening to this and they've still got their money in Goliath Ventures, get your money out. I don't know what planet you're on, leaving it in there. And don't take out more money than you put in. Take out your principal money only, leave the rest in there. Go to your local police station, report that you've been involved in a large-scale Ponzi scheme. Keep the screenshots, keep your logins before they take down the websites, and then do the right thing. And reach out to us. Tell us who your sponsors were. We've got lots of sponsors. We've currently got about 130 people on our what do we call our person of interest list. So don't sit there on your hands and think, waiting for the last guy that rang up who wanted to try to be a whistleblower, was just trying to save his ass. Literally said he's going to wait until the FBI knocks on his door and then hand back the money. Do you really think the FBI are going to say, oh, thank you, and walk off? They're going to shut down your business. They're going to freeze your assets and investigate you if they know that you've been warned that you're participating in a Ponzi scheme and you've continued and then taken out more money than you put in. It doesn't work that way. And with the new task force that's been set up just a couple of 3 days ago, if you go back through my videos, the government's onto this type of investment scams. And Christopher's history is checkered. The people that he hangs out with have already been through SEC, and they've already had these companies exposed, and people have already been jailed from it. We just can't find what prison they're in. But anyway.
Key facts missing from the article, Goliath Ventures Incorporated was dissolved by the state of Florida, but continued operating illegally. Investors have been withdrawing funds out of fear after inconsistencies were discovered in the company's filings and claimed banking arrangements. Federal agencies are currently examining the company's operations, payouts, investor recruitment, structure, and cross-border money movement. Multiple whistleblowers have identified Davis as part of the executive team, facilitating communications and investor operations during the period under investigation. None of this is disclosed in the article, which instead presents him as a community-focused leader with no controversial associations.
Yeah, and I think it is really important. I do like that picture. Looked damn good today. If I go back to here, I just want to reiterate the reiteration of what actually happened just a few days ago. If I go down to here, this is a blog that we published. And there's Christopher at a bank begging them, which is on bank teller, begging them to open up a new bank. So if you go through here, you can actually see that there's an article here, Merrill Lynch Bank of America. So here is Christopher's newsletter All right. Dear valued partners, I am pleased to share some exciting news as we continue to grow and elevate the Goliath Ventures platform. We have officially partnered with Merrill Lynch Bank of America to handle our future banking and custodial needs. That might not seem much. So that's 5 months ago. But then we now get a letter, and I'll take the credit for this. Here's a different executive letter. Now, just a couple of things that I can't get over. When you look at this letter that he sent out a couple of days ago, the spacing is like double spacing, 1.5 to be exact. And then down the bottom here, he's forgot the spacing. He's tried to fit it all on one page, obviously. And here, in this letter, they're telling you that they've got another bank. And in here, they tell you that in the spirit of transparency, we wanted to update you on our proactive step we're taking, partnering with new banking collaborators to optimize our deposit operation. This is just so funny. It's stupid because they're with the second biggest bank in America, and they're alleging that their current bank can't keep up with the growth of Goliath Ventures. So if you go back and you read my blog, which I won't do again, you can actually see this is actually damage control, and they're trying to keep the ship afloat as long as they can. They've already offered me $150,000 to shut up, and they are trying everything in their powers to actually silence me exposing this company. And I don't even have to make shit up. Their own contracts are their downfall. Their own contracts are going to be the sword that they fall on. How can a company still be paying out dividends to people when they've closed the company down in Florida? Even if you go back to the lawsuit that they're trying to fire at me, it's with Orange County Clerk. Go and search for it. They are acting like they are saying that I have some business dealings in Florida. And this is what they're doing. They are claiming that I've got some business dealings in Florida. I'm a reporter telling the truth about a Ponzi scheme that won't prove that they're a legitimate company. Instead, they come out with things that they're changing banks when they're already with one of the biggest banks in America. You just can't make this shit up. So good luck with your book. Good luck with your alphas. And let's carry on reading.
This omission is so significant that the piece becomes misleading to readers and potentially harmful to the public, especially given that sponsored articles often get used by these types of operators to build credibility and lure new investors.
Yeah, so that's why I don't like these articles. So you've got this article in here and you're reading about this guy, and he's a good old-fashioned alpha male who used to be in the fire brigade for 2 decades. He published his own article in this magazine, businessinsider.com, paid for it to be there, word for word how he wanted. Their editors have no control over the content unless it's lies, I presume. Now I've written to the editors, and I'm basically exposing this guy for telling a whole bunch of lies to mislead the public. They have a public, they need to warn the public of this guy's dirty tactics.
Review the information above immediately, retract or correct the article, adding the necessary disclosures about his involvement with Goliath Ventures Incorporated. Ensure your editorial team is aware of the extremely high risk that this sponsored content is being used as part of an ongoing investment recruitment campaign.
Yep, I'm happy to provide documents, filings, dissolve entity records, investor statements, screenshots, and any other further evidence you require. Please confirm receipt of this message. Given the severity, I strongly recommend the team reviews this promptly. And that's me. So then we come down to writing the description for the YouTube video. And this is in the description of the video that you're watching right now.
The scam begins. The press release paints Stephen Davis as a fallen fire chief who bravely left public service to start a parenting project and a publishing company. It reads like a feel-good comeback story. But buried behind this glossy narrative is the part he didn't disclose, his role as Director of Administration for Goliath Ventures Incorporated, a company now at the center of federal scrutiny. While the article highlights his podcasts, memoirs, and charity work, it never once mentions that the company he helps run was formally dissolved in Florida yet continued to operate, raise funds, and pay out returns that investors are now struggling to withdraw. That omission is not an accident, it's the entire point of the sponsored piece.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's all grooming people into thinking that whatever this guy's doing is above board when it's the opposite.
The timing of the press release is no coincidence. Over the last few months, withdrawals from Goliath Ventures have stalled, investors have panicked, executives have gone silent, and multiple government agencies have quietly begun pulling apart the company's paperwork, payouts, and banking claims.
Yeah. Oh dear, yes they
In the
have.
middle of this, Stephen Davis suddenly emerges with a polished article celebrating his leadership skills, his book launch, and his mission to help families. Not one line acknowledges the growing number of people who fear they may have lost their savings. Not one line mentions the investigations. Not one line mentions the red flags stacking up behind the scenes.
Yeah, so why not be transparent? Because if you go back to Christopher's letter, he says, in true transparency. So why don't you want to tell the truth? I mean, let's just think about this. If Goliath Ventures was a real, genuine, above board company, how do you think they should have handled someone like me? Do you think they would have come out with a right of reply and to put me back in their place, or give me crickets that I can hear tuning? Nothing. You know, come on, guys. And there's no proof of anything they're doing. I know people who are big investors who have asked to see their books and they've declined. They don't want their books to be seen. What type of company, public company, theoretically, not a private equity firm they're renaming now, you know, it just gets better and better. And I know that's not a word.
Instead, the article rewrites the narrative. Davis is not an executive in an investment scheme under pressure. He's now a publisher, a mentor, a coach, a philanthropist, a classic attempt to build credibility while the ship is taking on water. Behind the scenes, Goliath Ventures Incorporated has been operating in the shadows. After the Florida entity was dissolved, the team quietly continued accepting investor funds. No disclosure, no registration, no warning. Investors were told everything was fine, even as internal cracks widened.
Yeah. Keep calm the farm. Here they are holding an investors webinar. They announced it as a 45-minute long investment webinar, and it lasts for 12 minutes. No one can ask any questions, no one can talk, and they basically tell everyone in the meeting that all their money is safe, even though 100% of the income that's coming from the company is meant to be from crypto. When crypto lost $380 billion in one day, the biggest crash ever, Christopher said it had no impact on us.
During this period, Stephen Davis was not a distant advisor. He was part of the administrative core, involved in investor communications, email broadcasts, and internal coordination. Yet none of this appears in the press release. Instead, the story has been replaced with a heroic rebrand built to distract from the growing scrutiny around the company's operations.
Oh, good on you. Good on you, Steve. You're a real fireman. Something's burning, mate. I can smell the smoke. Where there's no smoke, there's no fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Is that the one?
This is the same pattern used by dozens of collapsing MLM-style investment schemes. When the heat rises, rewrite the identity of the key players and drown the public in positive sponsored stories.
Yeah, and we'll probably, it would be quite fun for me to actually go through everybody. I mean, I'd like to go through Alex. Alex is Christopher's personal trainer, and Alex is now driving around in a $350,000 Lamborghini. Personal trainers don't drive those type of cars. So I'd like to know how he got all that money to buy that, or maybe he's leasing it. I don't know, but who cares? And why do we have to have flash cars to prove that we're successful? Can't we just be good people? I'm successful. I have no money. Oh, wait, there's more.
Investors across the United States, particularly in Florida, have reported difficulties recovering their principal. Whistleblowers have come forward with documents showing inconsistencies in the company's filings and claimed banking relationships. Agencies are now reviewing everything from withdrawals to recruitment patterns to offshore communications.
Yeah, so if you have been an investor, that's okay. We're not going to name and shame you. We don't do that. We would like to know your crypto wallets, how the money was handled, because in good investigations, it always says follow the money.
These are not minor questions. They are the same signs seen before every major crypto-style Ponzi collapse over the last 5 years.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the public is being fed a story about a firefighter turned author. The contrast could not be sharper.
The press release is not journalism, it's damage control. So what is the human cost?
Behind the marketing, behind the memoirs, behind the sponsored article, real people are sitting at home terrified. Parents who invested their savings, retirees who were told this was their safe alternative to the market, families who trusted the Goliath name because executives like Stephen Davis presented themselves as disciplined, honorable, integrity-driven leaders.
Yeah, so we could look at Stephen and think, Mr. Stephen Davis, you are a good, law-abiding, upstanding citizen, and you are a credible person. People will listen to what you're saying, and you're an influencer. Let's say it. And now you're wound up in a Ponzi scheme. I know you're watching this because I emailed you before we started. You come back to me. In fact, just in case you are watching this, there is an opportunity for you to come on stage right now and talk to me. Now, you could just be naive if you want to be. A lot of these criminals that we go after who promote these Ponzi schemes and scams literally use negligence, and they don't do the research on purpose, so they can say they weren't aware it was a scam. So if you are a fireman, I'm sure you would not rush into a burning building without making a calculated decision. Or maybe you do. I don't know what fireman. Are you reckless? So, Steve, are you reckless? Are you reckless, Steve? Are you really thinking that Christopher has, trust me, bro, the alpha mentality that you say? So here's the alphas. On your own webpage, you have a picture of Christopher on the homepage. Like he is an alpha male. So this guy used to work for In-N-Out Burger. He got fired for stealing. His associates have been given 2 years in prison for running a fraud. Other people, like Nick Patel, is it Nick Patel? He's also been hooked up in other court documents where he was the chief salesman for some vitamin company that were doing fake marketing. So it takes a lot of energy for these guys to be arrested. And that's what we're going through at the moment, hence why we're waiting any day now. Hopefully Christopher will be in handcuffs before he gets to the finish line. With me, I'm already well ahead. But my point is, are you reckless, Stephen? Are you reckless? Are you just going to go down this track and say, I didn't know it was a scam, I had no idea? Are you really saying that you're watching this video now, knowing that they've shut the company down on the 3rd of September, and you're going to sit there and say you had no idea that Christopher's running a Ponzi scheme? And if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, it's where they use the new investor money to pay the old investors. The old investors are so happy that they tell their friends and family about it, and they are the new investors. So these Ponzi schemes destroy families. And that's why I've got a destroyed family, not because of anything I've done, but it's not nice. And I know right now, I've got in my mind, I know there's a family out there where their family members have invested millions of dollars into Goliath Ventures. And they're dreading the day it all falls over, because then their family will know that they've lost money. And they'll know that it was a scam. And regardless of how much money you can see in the app that they now don't make publicly available to people. So if you go to Goliath Ventures, right? So we're just going to go to Goliath Ventures, and you want to log in to your portal and check your funds. Why has that been taken off the website? Okay, so I go here. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the portal. There it is. Now, what we do is we come in here and let's go Stephen. So how do I know Stephen's address? Well, that's because when he sends out the newsletters, we get him as the, we get him. So we go Stephen at GoliathVenturesInc.com, and we now doesn't have it. So let's go Steve. Doesn't have it. So let's go Chris. Chris. All right. So now Chris, we've used Chris at Goliath Ventures Inc. And it gives us a two-factor authentication number to come and enter in before we can log in. And that's how they log into the portal. So if you use that name and you decided to go back to so when we started reporting this, probably about 5 months ago now, So let's go back here. Let's go here. So this is the Wayback Machine, and this is how we do a lot of our open source intelligent investigations. And this was the old website. So you tell me if this loads. Right, so I'm going to go here. So why have they removed the login button off their website? They don't want people going in there. And now they have something even more disgusting. I think I might as bring this up because I've done the banking one. Independent. Yeah, so now what they do is they are screening people. So this link's probably dead now. I'll be surprised if they still have it going. So they're giving people this link. See, the form is closed. Oh my God. Just as I said, so if you go through and watch my video, you will see that we found their onboarding link. And now they have closed that form down. So in here, you can see they had an onboarding link. So they're keeping it secret squirrel stuff. And the fact that they shut that down means they're watching my content like glue. But it absolutely makes me laugh. So if you go back to the video here that we did, you can actually see, you'll probably be able to find the onboarding link. Tone of formatting. Let's have a wee look. Here we go. There we go. Bank. So this was, this is the, let's have a wee listen. Right, so Black Block was actually originally an independent company. We've heard since, even though they did an independent audit on Goliath Ventures Inc. that was done by Matt Burke, who is Parish, who's now been scrubbed off their website. This is meant to be merged into one. So Black Block theoretically shouldn't exist, but they're still using this onboarding request. So what's going on here, guys? And maybe they're doing all the trading under Black Block, my Black Block. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you can see here. So here's the form. So since we've done that video just a couple of days ago, they've now removed this form from the internet, which is absolutely, that was a lovely picture, that one. So where did we get up to? So anyway, yeah, so withdrawing, yeah, so it's all, they're all trying to hide it and make it so that people can't, it's a secret squirrel investment thing now. So it's all gone underground. So even, they don't even tell you the bank that they're using to deposit money. So if you've been asked to, because at the moment we know that Piers Curry is still promoting this. And we know that Piers Curry is about to test the system and withdraw the money so he can buy his dream house because he's put everything into it with him and his wife. We know that Piers Curry won't respond to our emails, and he's actually still actively promoting this in Zoom meetings. So if you've been pitched by Piers Curry or anybody, and you've gone through, if you go through the process and saying, yes, we want to sign up, you know, these are the new documents that we'd love to see. Because remember, they've shut down their company in Florida and opened up in Wyoming. And they're claiming that that's perfectly legal. Anyone in their right mind will know that if you shut down a company, you're not allowed to continuously trade. So that's all bullshit. But anyway, not that I live in Florida, thank God for that at the moment, eh? So the truth, the press release, yeah, so basically I think we've covered it pretty cool. So now what we've done is we've gone through and we've actually wrote I won't read this one because it's pretty much the same stuff, but we've actually written to Stephen and made him fully aware that he's part of the Ponzi scheme and scam, just in case he hasn't made an educated decision. So Stephen Davis, feel-good entrepreneur, we've given them the link. We've also given the link of the very video that you're watching right now, and you're more than welcome to come on here at the moment. We also did have I keep forgetting to do the polls. So I'm just going to end the poll right now, but what did we have in the actual poll? Let's have a read.
Do sponsored feel-good articles make shady execs look legit or just more desperate?
And the stats are out on that one. Hilarious PR, gymnastics. I thought you might like the word gymnastics there, somebody who's listening at the moment. So I've got the introduction that I did, and I think I'm actually pretty much done with this one. I really do like my picture. But before I go, we might have a wee look around the internet and see some other stuff. So if you have been watching this here, this is just my take on these companies that allow people to do sponsors articles. And if you're not a savvy viewer of the internet and you believe what you read, then sit back and take another viewpoint on it. When you're reading something that sounds really good, try and find out who the reporter is. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I actually have been in a 2-page printed edition of the New York Times for my quest to name and shame anyone naming and shaming anyone that's running a large-scale Ponzi scheme or scam. And they actually nicknamed me the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, which I used for quite a long time, but now I call myself Danny the Heck Investigations. I've also been in a documentary with Bloomberg. They did 10-month investigation on Sam Lee, which was running a $1.9 billion scam. And I was heavily promoted in a video where they exposed the scammer. The same scammer was trying to sue me, or claiming to sue me for $300,000 because I caused him to have a stroke. That's what he claimed. And a month before he had the stroke, he's on a secret Zoom meeting that I'm in, that he doesn't know I'm in there. Wow. And he's having a big puff of a cigarette. And just before he lit up, he goes to the person that's recording, is this meeting being recorded? And they said no. And he lights up a big gnarly smoke and he sits there. He's a chain smoker. So just to let you know, Shavis, that smoking is a major contributor to strokes, and you wouldn't be able to blame a YouTuber for giving you a stroke. Even though the court documents that he supplied my hosting provider did actually get my website taken offline, I had 30 days marching order because he used ChatGPT to write fake court documents and they believed it. Can you believe that? Anyway, another ones I've been in ABC News, Channel 9 News, The Stuff newspaper. I've been on the radio. I've had my fair share of being around journalists. And at the moment, as I said at the beginning of this, I've actually reached out to 70 major news outlets. The Wall Street Journal, we haven't contacted them. So if you want to have your story, but I know how the news works. They don't do the good old-fashioned investigating that we used to do. They're waiting for the court documents. So when that happens, there's going to be a lot of press around this, and I'm sure I'm going to get vindicated for my quest to actually help you from getting scammed by Christopher Diego. I've got to get his name right. Christopher Del Argo. Christopher Del Argo. I'm not being disrespectful when I say that. I am dyslexic. I have a reading level of a 9-year-old and a writing level as well. So I use a lot of technology around it. For some reason, names are my worst. I did a Dale Carnegie course, and it took me a long time to actually take on board what they trained me. Person's name is everything. So it's never disrespect. It's just my inability to pronounce words correctly. This is why I like being a YouTuber, because I get to articulate my words and I get to work on my pronunciation. And would you believe I will watch my own video later on today and see how well I did. I learn from myself because I'm always striving to be a better version of myself. And that's what I think everybody should be doing. Now, Steve Davis, you probably think this is an unjustified cry. Why don't you become a whistleblower? You know that company inside and out. In fact, you're one of the chief administrator for a company that claims to brought in 3, maybe 500 million for mum and dad investors. You should know everything that is happening in that company. You are a qualified firefighter. And now you're running a multi-million-dollar company that's claiming to bring in 60% returns for anyone that invests. That is too good to be true. Think about this, Steve. You are taking money off people and telling them that a guy that got fired from In-N-Out Burgers for stealing, whose associates have been locked up, incarcerated for a copycat mirrored Ponzi scheme called My Liquidity Partners, GOLIATH Ventures Inc. They were the same companies, and now you're sitting here taking money of your friends and family, other firefighters that really are good men that would run into a building to save someone's life. And you did this for 2 decades. You would have been to car accidents. You would have cut dead bodies out of cars. You would have had family members seen them on the ground while you were working on them. and they think you're a good guy. I think you could be a good guy, but you're now working for a big, disgusting bottom feeder. Christopher is a criminal. He is not, you have got no reason to dispute what I'm saying. This guy has 5 houses. He's bought $4 million worth of vehicles. He's spent $1 million on his girlfriend in the last 12 months. Look at a new handbag. It's beautiful. He goes out and pisses up money. He spends $100,000 in one night on alcohol. He flies around in jets like this lolly water. Where does his money come from? About 3 years ago, he was showing some friend that he had $5 million in the bank. How did this guy go from zero to hero in such a short period of time? Stephen, what are you doing? You claim that you're an alpha trainer. What about your family? Do you think that you're not going to go to prison because you trust Christopher with your life and the future, your family's life? Help us. Anyone that's watching this can help us with intel. Go to dehek.com, DEHEK. You can go to the contact page on my website. You can submit anything you like anonymous. We will not go after you. We do not name and shame bad actors, good actors, bad actors. We do bad actors. We don't do good actors. Anyone that wants to provide us information anonymously, you can. We've got 130 people on our person of interest list. Steve Davis is one of those people. We are the government agencies that are investigating this scam have full access to our persons of interest list. All the screenshots, all the contracts, everything is publicly available. So my database is accessed by, I always say, 6 different government agencies. It's actually 7 different government agencies in 6 different countries. We got one more recently. If we do the same old things and expect different results, then we're never going to impact these investment opportunities that steal from mum and dad investors. Look, I've basically done this one. It's my plea to Stephen Davis to actually come forward as the administrator for one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in America. Who are you going to hedge your bet with? Are you going to run in to the building that's on fire and grab all the administration documents and give them to us? Or are you going to sit there on the outside and pretend that you used to be a firefighter that used to save people's lives and watch this building burn to the ground? This is a house of cards, not a proper company. There's nothing in GOLIATH Ventures Inc. that is proper. It's not a real company. It's a house of cards that's about to fall over or burn to death. It's going to burn down with a fireman watching it burn to the ground. I'm Danny DeHeek Investigations, and we'll see you in the next video.